thought I'd make this little video here on some stuff I've been thinking about here the last couple of days. Yeah, you know, gold and silver's been taking a beating pretty good. I mean, we're down quite a bit. And everybody, you know, gets all depressed and down, you know, about, oh, prices are falling. Well, use this as a buying opportunity. That's what I'm trying to do when the funds are available. You just buy, whether you want gold, silver, combination, whatever you can get. I would say this is a buying opportunity. Just buy. Yeah, it could go down farther, but it may not. And the reason I say that is we may be in, it's just my opinion, but we may be in for a short-term rally come Friday. Now it's only Thursday, so you got about a day, the way I'm thinking. Because Friday, Facebook IPO comes out. So it'll be the first time anybody will ever be able to, you know, own shares of Facebook. And, you know, that's like the largest and most popular thing going right now. So that'll be a market mover. And I look for it to really boost the market. And when the market goes up, so do commodities. So the way I'm thinking is, if you want to get in on some decent prices, then try to buy today if you have the funds. I mean, you can go over to QSB, get you some silver, you know, watch one of my latest discount code video and get some information there. But regardless of where you want to buy from, I would think today might be a good day because we may be, like I said, in for a short-term rally. I don't know how much it'll go up or even if it will for sure. I mean, don't quote me on none of this. But I'm just thinking that with Facebook coming out and all the hype and everything, then maybe for one day, or at least a part of a day, that'll take up most of the attention of the financial channels, CNBC and the others. And maybe they won't be focusing on Greece quite as much. You know, because Greece has turned into the whipping boy. Anything that goes wrong with the markets or the economy or whatever, you know, they always blame it on Greece. Yeah, Greece has had their problems and whatnot, but they're not the only thing to blame. I think they're just, I don't know, they got to have something to blame it on, and that's who it is at this point in time. Now, another thing, too, is I've been reading articles and seen on TV as well, that there has been a run on the banks in Greece. People been, you know, pulling out all the money they can get a hold of. You know, maybe, I don't know if the banks, they probably don't have enough to give everybody every, you know, penny they got in the bank. But people are taking out what they can. So that means a lot of cash on the sidelines. And if their market's not doing any good, they don't want to invest anywhere else because they're afraid that, well, if our market's falling and not doing any good, then the next country might do the same thing. So they'll be, you know, kind of in like a run of bad luck is the way they're thinking over there, in my opinion. So maybe, you know, they'll start running to commodities, gold and silver. Because like I've said before, you've got all the commodities out there. You've got oil, you got corn, cattle, all those commodities. But for the average person in this day and age, the only commodity, physical, that you can hold in your hand that the average person can invest in is gold and silver. I mean, it'd be kind of hard, you know, to store 50-gallon drums of crude oil or a bunch of cattle or bushels of wheat or corn or soybeans, stuff like that. It's just not practical and sometimes impossible to do. But you can own gold and silver, and at these prices, I'd say get all you can get a hold of. If you gotta, you know, look under your couch cushions for some change, under your car seats, clean out the, you know, the washer if you find some change in there, or dryer, wherever. Just scrape up whatever you can scrape up and try to buy whatever you can get your hands on at these prices. Now, as I've said before as well, don't be paying outrageous prices now. Try to get as close to spot as you can possibly get. That's why I said QSB, they got real competitive prices. But wherever you want to buy from, get as close to spot and just buy the heck out of it. I mean, whatever you can, just buy it. Because eventually, I don't know when, I'm not going to say for sure it's going to be Friday, everything will be all nice and back to normal. No, I said it might be a short-term rally. But regardless, things will go back up. I've heard them say on TV just today that, you know, there's still a lot of people out there in the gold community projecting gold to hit 2 grand within a year. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. But wouldn't it be nice if it did? And you can look back and say, wow, I bought a bunch of gold at, well, the current price is $15.47. So it'd be nice to say I bought at $15.47, you know, plus small premium, of course. But regardless, you know, and now it's $2,000. You'll be real glad you bought it. So I'm just thinking that with the Facebook thing coming out, gonna, like I said, maybe take away a little bit from all the bad that everybody's been blaming Greece for. So things might turn around for a day, you know. So don't get discouraged when just because the prices are down and all that. Use it as a buying opportunity. And remember this, when you hold physical metal, gold and silver, you will never lose. I mean, you might have to wait quite a while, but the only way you can lose is if you sell at a loss. As long as you still own it and hold it in your hand, in my books, you're still a winner because you own it. And you own something that very few people in this world, especially in the United States, own: physical gold and silver. Yeah, there might be people out there, you know, that own some jewelry, you know, necklaces, chains, bracelets, maybe a wristwatch, what have you. But as far as actual bullion, bars, coins, rounds, whatever you got, you know, you got to feel yourself, you know, be proud that you own it, you know. Be like, wow, I'm doing something with my life, doing something positive. I'm not out there, you know, wasting it away, you know, blowing it, not having nothing to show for it and whatnot. So just be proud you own it. Look at it, do what you want, put it away, and then when the time comes, sell it if you choose to. Or in my case, you know, I do a lot of selling, buying, trading. I'm always flipping this, flipping that. That's just me. I don't recommend everybody do it. But once you've been in it a while and get things kind of figured out, you'll know when it's the right time to buy, sell, or if a trade comes up for something you might want, you know, that's fine too. Just make sure, regardless of what you do your best to come out on the winning side. Don't sell at a loss unless you absolutely have to. Like, you know, an emergency might come up in the family, or say a loved one, maybe you, or your wife, or something might lost their job and you got to sell. That's fine. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. And you ought to be glad you've got it to sell. You know, you ought to count yourself lucky that you have something very liquid that you can sell, get the money, and, you know, do what you got to do. But remember this too, as soon as things get better and you get back on your feet and things, you know, start looking up, try to buy your metal back. Don't just sell it and forget about it. You know, always keep it in the back of your mind that, well, I sold, say, 50 ounces of silver, or, you know, 2 or 3 ounces of gold or whatever, you know. Just remember that I sold it, I done what I had to do. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just, you know, you done a good thing. You done what you had to do to help your family or your current situation. So just remember that, yeah, I sold it. It's done. Now I got to work on getting back on my feet, get things straightened out so I can buy it back. Because you always want to keep a certain amount, you know, as best as you can. But, you know, emergencies come up. And that's another thing about financial crisis and economic collapse, like I've said before. You know, there could be an economic collapse, you know, around the world, or, I don't know, they want to say Greece or the European nations or whatever. But it can hit a lot closer to home. It doesn't have to be a total financial collapse in the United States. An individual or a family can have their own financial collapse or economic collapse, whatever you want to call it. All it takes is somebody to get sick and lose a job, get laid off, or maybe you've got a child that comes down with an illness that requires, you know, a lot of money for medical care and stuff. That's a financial crisis in your own right. So just try to remember those things. And yeah, Greece, like I said before, Greece gets the blame for a lot of stuff, but they're not the only thing out there. And just remember, if you've got the money today, try to buy, because you never know, this Facebook thing might give a short-term rally in the market, and you don't want to miss out on any buying opportunity. So, and the only last thing I'm going to say is, the best thing to do if you want a good cost average, set yourself a day out of the month and buy. If you can buy however little or however much, it doesn't matter. You know, we're not in here competing with each other. I used to get mixed up in that myself, that I shouldn't do it. I can't compete with the next guy. Well, forget the next guy. Worry about yourself and your family. Do the best you can with what you got to work with. That's what I do. And just set yourself a day out of the month, whenever's convenient, and buy. Don't worry about the price. Up, down, sideways, doesn't matter. Just get as close to spot as you possibly can and buy. And you'll get a good cost average in the long run. And one last thing, I almost forgot. I was reading about gold confiscation back in the 30s, and I know a lot of people have messaged me about this, saying, oh, I'm afraid they're going to come take my metal. Well, if you do have that fear that your metal could be confiscated, I'm not saying they're going to do it, and I'm not saying they won't do it. You never know about this crazy government. So one way you can protect yourself, and it's something I've been doing, just as a kind of a, you know, it's lower premium too. When gold is gold, doesn't matter. But buy some of your foreign gold. Yeah, your gold eagles and stuff are fine. But get some of your foreign gold, your sovereigns, your, you know, you got your 20 franc coins, your kroners, your cougarans. You know, you got a lot of just foreign gold in general. Silver too, either way. But gold especially, because that's what a lot of people are afraid they'll confiscate. Because the U.S. government cannot confiscate foreign gold. They can only confiscate the stuff that they have made. Gold eagles, silver eagles, buffaloes, stuff like that. They cannot confiscate stuff that they didn't make in the first place. Because when you buy a coin, like a gold eagle, silver eagle, whatever, you really don't own it if you want to get right down to it. Yeah, you bought it and think it's yours. But you are just a bearer of that instrument. You just buy it. You bought it to hold it. But at any time the government wants to recall it, they can do that. But if you own foreign gold, then that's your gold. And another thing too, don't be worried that, you know, they're going to come kick your front door in and take all your gold. It didn't happen that way back then. They just, you know, made people think it was their patriotic duty to turn it in, basically. So, it was just a play on words, and people thought it was a great thing to do, and they turned their gold in. Well, I hope you guys and gals are a lot smarter than that. So, like I said, go over to QSB if you want to pick you up some silver on this dip, or a little bit of gold, whatever. You can watch one of my other videos. I'll link it down in the description box of my discount code video, and it'll explain all what that entails. So just remember that buy your lowest premium gold, silver you can. And I have another video out probably within the next week, week and a half on some gold coins that a set that I'm putting together. So I think you guys might be interested in seeing it. So as soon as I get it put together, I'll probably have it done probably next weekend. I'll put the next video up. So if anybody has any questions or comments on this, and like I, you know, let me know. And like I said, don't quote me on this whole Facebook thing. It's just an idea. But today looks like a good day to buy. And I wish you all the best. So, that's about all I got to say for now. So just keep stacking.